John from Madcap Music Review. We're here with Dane Scott from 40 Ounce to Freedom.
What's up?
What's going on? How you doing, brother?
I'm well. How are you, bud?
Doing good, man. So, you guys are playing here at the Gaslamp tonight. You got a...
Yes, sir. First time, actually, in Long Beach County. We played like in San Pedro for the Lobster Fest a while back, and we also played at the San Pedro. Is it Pedro or Pedro?
Pedro.
It's
yeah,
Pedro.
yeah.
Okay, the brew company over there. Yeah. But yeah, first actual like Long Beach gig after 6 years of doing this, so I'm glad we finally got on it.
Yeah, is that a trip for you guys, like being a Sublime tribute band and playing?
Yeah, it
like
really is, because
it's
not like we didn't try in the past to find gigs here. It's just nothing ever really got locked in or got lost in the mire, you know.
Yeah.
So finally we got a spot, and it's looking pretty good in there. So hopefully we can come back.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what got you started out back in the day as a musician? Was it punk? Was it like, reggae? Was it everything? Just in general?
The stuff that I listened to and stuff?
Yeah, that got you into music.
Well, yeah, growing up in Southern California, obviously, Sublime and that whole ska, reggae kind of movement thing that was going on was a big influence. But as far as like vocally and stuff, I listened to a lot of old like Motown and soul music and stuff like that. I like the funk a lot. That's kind of my thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Sublime was the pinnacle of what that whole genre is now. Like there's no Slightly Stupid or Pepper or Revolution without Sublime, I don't think. Absolutely.
And the Cali roots, I mean, basically sprung from Sublime. Yeah.
They were the first like transitional. I call it white kid reggae.
They call it party roots. Yeah. It's party roots.
Yeah, party roots. There you go.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, you got the ska, the punk, the rap, the reggae, just pretty much everything thrown in.
Fun.
Yeah. And you had a solo album that just came out last year, too.
I do. Self-titled, Dane Scott. It's on iTunes
It
now.
is. Yeah, that's a great fucking album.
Buy it. Woo! Thanks, bud. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Put a lot into it. I hadn't recorded an album in probably 2.5 years, almost 3 years, so it was about time, and I, did it right, sat down, took my time.
How was the writing process with that for you? Was that something you did on the road, or just something you...
Some of the songs I had the basis for. So I had the basic structure for most things, but once we got in the studio, man, I just got completely addicted to producing track, after track, and like all the horn lines and then layers and adding percussion and all that stuff. That's the stuff that I really got like addicted to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what it is. It's totally addicting.
Playing it back and being like, oh, but I could add this or I could do this.
Exactly.
And just,
you know, but then sometimes you got to be like, okay, settle down.
Right. Don't want to overcook it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Is it doing Sublime? Is it because Bradley? Some of his lyrics are just—it's like he's just spitting them out like Kerouac style, just like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah,
boom, boom.
I stumble from time to time on some of the faster parts,
So, you guys are based out of San Diego, but now you're out in Colorado.
Yeah. One of my best friends and I started this band in 2007. Both Southern California natives, and here we are, 6 years later. It's crazy. It absolutely boggles my mind, but I'm very thankful to be able to still be doing it and like to be on the road and support my life and stuff like that. It's really like a kind of a gracious thing for me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just so thankful for people that are still coming out. You know what I mean? Like
doing what you love and being able to do it and sustain it.
It's just the best feeling.
What's it like playing it? Because you guys have played South Dakota, North Dakota, Iowa. I mean, just all over the place.
Yeah, dude. I've been to every state in this beautiful country, Canada, Mexico.
Is there something? Do you notice a difference in the crowd? Like when they heard that Cali Roots music coming to them, like they probably even miss them. Like,
I feel like. There's like little differences. The main thing that I really dig are the accents. It's just awesome. Like North Dakota's got a great one. The South has a great one. It's nice and slow and drawn out. You know what I mean? Like that's what I really like. But the crowds are, they're really similar. And like just the party vibe. Everybody's having a good time. They're just into it. It's like, that's how Sublime fans are. And most people weren't able to see Sublime before he passed. So they want to experience that kind of live, energetic vibe, and I think we try to portray that the best we can.
You guys absolutely do. I mean,
thanks, buddy.
Like I was telling you, man, when I wasn't watching, I was hearing it coming through on my computer, And I tell my wife, I'm like, no, don't play Sublime, play 40 Ounce of Freedom. She's like, no, it is. I'm like, whoa. I'm like,
Thank
damn.
you, man. That's a huge
You guys hit it right in the mark.
Very thankful.
And it's like you said, growing up, I mean, I was a huge Sublime fan, but, you tend to take things for granted as a fan, just figure they're going to be around forever. And,
yeah, true.
Your idols, the bands you love, you catch them next week or next month or next year or whatever, and then
all of a sudden, boom,
gone. Yeah, out of nowhere, and it's like what happens
sad,
then.
Very sad.
You guys have done a hell of a job of picking up the pieces and
thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Bringing back what a lot of, like you said, like what people never got to see.
Yeah. I think that's we hear that so much, like, oh, I never got to see Sublime, but you guys did such a good, thank you so much, you really did the energy thing, and we're so thankful, and then we're just like, oh, thank you, thank you for helping me be here right now,
Right.
So it works both ways there. It's a symbiotic little relationship there.
Yeah, I've seen some of the videos you guys have, and it's the crowds, I mean, they're singing right along with you. There's like a definite love there.
We definitely picked the right band, for us and who we are, because we kind of have that vibe, I guess, that SoCal party roots. Party roots, is that what we're going with?
Party roots, it's a Cali roots vibe, it's a little bit of everything,
Yeah.
And your solo album, I mean, there's what I noticed on it too is there's some funk roots.
Oh yeah.
Which must have been like you were saying about Motown, where that came in.
It was just like for me, it was all about the horns, dude. Like,
Light the Fire, that's got a funk.
Yeah, it's got the funk thing going on. Yeah, and I loved doing the horns, man. Layering all those horns, it was just so much fun, I want to go back and do it again on more songs,
Right. So when
thank you, I really appreciate that, man.
When you tour it live, is it something where you're going to put down a horn piece together to come out and play with it?
Yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to do. I was thinking, the bass, drums, guitar, and then like keys and two horns would be ideal. Of course, when you have a big band like that, it's hard to get everybody coordinated and on the road together, and it takes a lot of backing and money, to put a band like that on the road, because you're going to have to tour with a trailer.
Yeah.
7 guys for hotels, you're going to have to get 3 rooms,
And if they're a session musician, they've all got management and this and that and contracts, and it kind of takes there's that whole other side of the industry that just kind of can get in the way sometimes.
Evil side.
Yeah, right?
And I mean, honestly, man, I think I slipped into that a little bit, in this band. Actually, I was like, I realized that I wasn't playing my own stuff, and it was like really kind of tearing at my soul, and I was really frustrated, and I just was talking to the guys, was like, hey man, let's just do a couple originals, I just want to have that original outlet, as well as doing the Sublime stuff, because I love to do it, but I also, need.
You're a musician, you've got this passion to get
out. You have to do it. You got to speak your voice, each and every musician. At least most that I know, and the great ones, they all, they have to have their own little twist. You know what I mean?
Right, they do. Yeah, absolutely. And Jason Newsted left Metallica because he wanted to do his own thing.
Yeah.
And he was so passionate about it. I mean, he left like $1 million a month gig practically to
huge.
Go do his own thing, which is
serious.
And that's awesome. You see musicians
that are right there. That is what it is. That's exactly.
It's about passion.
Yep.
It's about honesty and passion. And it's amazing.
And music is incredibly honest. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And you hear someone play, you're like, oh, that's, I've heard that lick, or I've heard that fill a million times.
Yeah.
But then you hear someone else play, and you're like, now that guy's got something going on. You know what I mean?
Right.
He's got his twist.
Yeah, it's the way you put your
I think
your
that's
style
what
on
separates the good from the great, or
sure.
the great from the timeless.
Right. Well, even with bands like Journey, I mean, you listen to Steve Perry, you hear Sam Cooke. You hear that Sam Cooke influence in his vocals,
totally.
That whoa. Yeah. It's like, oh, Sam Cooke, that's where you got it from.
Apparently, there's a really great documentary about the Filipino dude that
the
Journey gig.
Yeah.
Everybody keeps telling me about it. I want to check that out. I think it's on Netflix.
I haven't seen it. I've known his photographer, Ferdy. It's like his best friend from the Philippines. Shot him a bunch when they were in America and stuff. And yeah, he landed that gig. It's so odd these days with social media. Yeah, they want scouting a singer on YouTube. I mean, they probably could have called anyone they wanted, but that's where they went. So do you find that as a musician like more of a hindrance or a help these days? Because with the illegal downloading and all the bullshit that goes on?
And, I mean, for a while there, like I said, I kind of lost that. But, I mean, you have to be such a promoter for yourself, man. You have to convince people, you know, and not just with the music, you know what I mean? You got to have a savvy business mind for it, you know, find unique ways to keep it going and keep it fresh and relaunching and revamping, you know what I mean?
But if you got the right tools, it's kind of a do-it-yourself thing now, and you've got all those tools available to you.
And that's why I think, you know, record companies have taken such a hit. You know what I mean? Like, because people are recording these great albums by themselves and then just being like, well, we don't need all that crap. How about you just distribute for us? You know what I mean? No, I think that's the ideal thing for most bands now, because that's where you're going to make your money is merch, right?
Yeah. Well, I grew up, that all the bands I talked to, you know, that's where they make their money, merch and gigs. Yeah. Merch. You know, they used to give out gold records. Well, they still do. You know, every time you sell 500,000 copies of a record, you get a gold record, but nobody really does that anymore.
Yeah, right.
Unless you're Metallica, you know? Seriously. So, you know, Chris Holmes brought this up. He's like, they they have a gold record for merch sales? I'm like, fuck, that's a good idea. They should.
That'd be awesome.
You know? Because that's where bands that's where bands are making their cash. And taking
platinum and merch.
Yeah. Sold more shirts than anybody else.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Have you ever thought about, like, with your solo stuff, like putting out physical, like, vinyls and stuff? Because I grew up in the 70s and 80s. A lot of people
are doing that right now, and
I miss that.
I got some good buddies in Denver. Amazing band, the Congress. If you ever get a chance to see them, go see them. They're excellent. Okay. Every one of them in their own way, and then just collectively, is a great band. But they just released a vinyl of all the old Soul tunes that they covered. And like this crazy church venue, like one mic on the kit, you know, one mic on everything, and it just came out amazing. And I think part of that is because they put it on vinyl. You know, it's like it's such a big sound for like what seemed to be such a small thing, you know, small setup. So
vinyl.
I've definitely thought about it. I think that'd be pretty cool to just have, you know, even if you don't sell a ton of them, it's cool to be like, hey, you want it on vinyl? You know, like.
Yeah. Growing up, that's what I loved about music, was not just, I mean, you'd see the album cover and then you put on the vinyl or the cassette or whatever it was, and then you had the liner notes and the pictures, and it's like kids these days, they're missing out on that. It's like,
you just hit a button and there it is.
Yeah, they're like, but they're not getting the whole story.
Yeah.
I always want to know who produced it, where was it recorded, when was it recorded, who are they thanking, like, oh, look at these pictures, and, you know, all that good stuff.
And you're absolutely right. That's a lost.
It's a lost art, but it definitely is something that the true fans out there appreciate it. Yeah.
Man, I don't even have any vinyl myself.
Really?
I have like one. I have the Michael Jackson Thriller single.
Oh, okay.
Vinyl.
That's a great album.
That one's like framed and on the wall. You know what I mean? Like, that's the inspiration right there.
Yeah. And say what you will, you know, as a person, he's a little odd, but I mean, that guy's talent was just ridiculous.
Dude, I mean,
nobody could dance or sing like that, man.
In the 90s, man, where just everything that he did was amazing. I mean, let's go all the way back, you know, Jackson 5, you know, the Thriller album and the Billie Jean, and like, I mean, it's all been great, but that stretch in the 90s, and for me, it was Man in the Mirror. Like,
bad. 87.
Yeah. That's 87?
Yeah.
Really?
Bad, yep. Fuck. Leave Me Alone, bad. Dirty Diana, Smooth Criminal.
87,
that was 87, yeah.
I was way off.
Yeah. When his first album, I mean, when he broke solo with Off the Wall, that was just like,
You're like, wowzers.
And then MTV comes in, and then Thriller. I mean, no one ever seen anything like it.
Yeah.
A movie and a video, and it's like, what's the next movement for music? You know, like what's the next medium? You know, you always wonder.
It's hard to say. I mean, really, it takes someone to create it. I think. You know,
you've got to be a bit of a visionary, a bit of everything these days. Because, like you said, it's a do-it-yourself scene out there. You know, where you gotta promo it, you gotta push it, you gotta do a bit of everything, I suppose.
Yeah, you have to have business sense, because especially in music business.
Yeah, right.
People will tear you up, walk all over you, squeeze every last cent out of you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
I've been pretty lucky though. I mean, as far as that, I haven't had any real terrible things other than, like, you know, getting to a show, not getting paid what we were supposed to, or something like that. That's probably the worst that's happened. But I have a great agent. We're good buddies, you know. We hang and drink beers whenever I'm in Boston and stuff.
See, and that's cool. Having your brothers, like, guys you're friends with, actually, like, as a part of it.
Yeah, and we looked for a long time. And just never found anybody that was like, and then he contacted us and was like, hey, I'm hearing all about you guys. Like, check out my roster. Like, I want you guys to be my first tribute band. And we're like, hell yeah, dude. You know, and he put us on the road for the first 3 years was 9 months a year. We were fucking hitting it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
2007 to 2009, you guys are just never home.
You know, 9 weeks, 10 weeks, just destroying it. You know, like just. But now we kind of got our thing down pretty pat, and it's hard to be on the road for that long. I think any musician will tell you when you live in a closed space with the same guys.
It's not as glamorous as they portray it to be.
And you need a break, you know, like that's just how it is. So we right now I think the most we do is like 4 weeks, and that'll be like the big fall tour when school gets back in session, stuff like that.
What was the transition?
Kind of pick your spots.
Yeah. So being a San Diego kid, man, growing up there and being part of that, what brought you to Colorado?
Honestly, it may sound crazy, but the music scene, dude, it is surprised me on several occasions.
Really?
And really, I was having a hard time. San Diego, I was just like, I want to try LA for a while. So I lived in LA for 3 years. It was great. The problem with LA was finding guys that could go on the road. Like, for example, a good buddy of mine is the touring trombone player for Earth, Wind & Fire. So they call, you know, a couple days in advance, he's got to be there, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
And this drummer that I really liked, he was the drummer for Sade, so she calls, you got to be there.
So. Right.
But in Denver, I found that, like I said to you earlier, like, people are wanting to tour and, like, just play music because it's fun and you like to do it and you're into it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I found a lot of that there, and there are some killer bands in Denver, man. There really are. It's a great scene. You got to go check it out sometime.
My buddy Jumby was telling me, like, he's awesome. Living it. He loves it out there, so it's amazing.
Yeah,
and it's a little bit more slowed down. It's not all stressed out and all.
You know, I mean, yes and no.
Oh, it's
I mean, it's still got the up pace of the city, that's for sure. But now, you know, possibly with the
legalization of the
like punk in the city, so maybe people are a little more chill about that kind of stuff.
A little less road rage, perhaps.
Yeah. There's still real shitty traffic. I was really hoping to get away from that,
right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's everywhere.
Right on. Well, thank you for taking your time to talk with us.
It's nice chatting with you.
Good talking with you. Dane Scott, where's a good place people can check you out and catch up to what you guys are doing?
You can check out SublimeTributeband.com for the 40 ounce stuff, and then I also post through the Facebook. All the social media is linked to that site.
Okay.
So you can find me somehow through that.
In iTunes. Check out his solo album.
Yeah, Dane Scott.
Sick. All right, thank you, brother.
Cool. Thanks, buddy.
All right.
Appreciate it, man.
Thank you, man.